The ST13 Luffyleader is winning a lot of tournaments OP09. So what changed? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mob here, and today I'm going to give you my deck list for the ST13 Luffyleader. This deck is inspired by a lot of OP09 tournament winner decks. I grabbed a bunch of them and I took my favorite aspects and put them all into a deck that I liked. Make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out this channel. I upload daily deck profiles and duels for a lot of anime TCGs. Alright, so here we go. There's a good amount of ways to run this deck, and I guess I'll answer the question that I posed at the very beginning. Did this deck get any sort of updates from OP09? Well, not really. That's the interesting part, but it's seeing some wins, and I think it's just because people are finding way more consistent builds, and this is sort of a hybrid of some of them. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about every single card, and I'll explain how it works and the overall game plan of the deck. So this Luffy is running only two of the brothers, which is Luffy and Sabo. I decided not to run the ace, so there's a little bit of a lacking rushing in here, but it's more consistent overall with a little bit of removal. If I did add that ace in, I wouldn't have room for removal at all, so that's why we're running it in this fashion. So this is the Luffy card from ST13 Black Yellow Leader with 4 life, 5,000 power. So if any of your face up life cards are removed, it's going to be placed in the bottom of the deck instead of going into your hand. With two Dawn attached, activate during your main phase. Trash 1 card, then if you're at 0 life, add it to 2 cards with 5 or less from your hand or trash on the top of your life face up. This is an incredibly powerful ability. The only thing is you have to trash a card, which isn't that bad at all for healing too, but you have to be at 0 life. Your opponent usually isn't going to leave you at 0 life for that reason. However, you have a lot of cards in here to help with that. So let's go. The first card we're going to talk about is Makino. This deck is running 10 2k counters. This is a 1-0 card from ST13. On play, you can add 1 card from the top or bottom into your hand, which enables you to use this during your turn. You then look at all of your life cards and place them back to your life in any order. So you can use it as one of your last life cards to make it so 0 so you can activate this, or you can use it at the very beginning of the game. If you have a lot of Luffy's and Sabo kids in your hand, you can go ahead and rearrange your life and get a quick one out. So we're running 2 of these because the other 2Ks are just much better for setting up. Now we're running Ice Age from OP02, 1 cost main. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -5 cost during this turn. The trigger is KO a 3 or less, which is amazing. So we're running only 2 of these in here. This deck has 8 cards total that have to duel with KOing with a cost. There's a Gecko Moria at the end that allows you to replay those again. So there we go. We're going to be using these. Alright, so the Charlotte Flampe are a really amazing card from EB01. 1/1/2 on play, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand, and then you get to draw 1 card. So this is obviously way better in a scenario when you want to get to 0 life. You get that card from your top, and then you get to draw 1 card. Then if it's your turn, you get to, it's very, very cheap. Very, very cheap to do. 1 Dawn, you have 2 of those Luffy kids or Sabos, and then you just throw them on the board and you get to activate this. Amazing. This is like a staple for this deck strategy. So running 4 of these. The only bad thing is it can't be searched by anything, but no problemo. Now we're getting a search card. This is from ST13, the 3 Brothers Bond, 1 cost. Main phase, look at the top 5. You get to grab a Sabo, Ace, or Luffy that costs 5 or less. So literally any Sabo or Luffy in the deck, there's 5 costs and 2 costs in this deck. Then you place the rest in the bottom. Depending on what you get in here, it really just, once again, it depends. If you have a lot of 5-drop Luffys, you want to look for the 2-cost Luffys. If you have 2-cost Sabos, you want to look for the 5, etc. So you really have to play this deck a lot to understand, like, oh, the ratios I have are like, oh yeah, I have 8 5-drop Luffys. I have 2 2-cost Luffys. There's some Sabos in the graveyard. So you have to do a lot of thinking. Here is the other searcher for the deck. I usually don't like to run 8 searchers, but because this deck highly revolves around just very, very specific Luffy or Ace cards, you are going to need the extra searching. So this is Garp from ST13, 1/2/1. Look at the top 5. It's the exact same as this one, except this one's a body and this one is an event with a trigger. Okay, next up we have one of our first very key piece winning cards. This is Luffy from ST13 221. Activate main, you trash this character. So it doesn't matter, you know, the turn that you played it, it could be active, it could be rested, no matter, you trash it. And then you reveal the top card of your life cards. Doesn't matter if it's face down or up. If that card is a Luffy with 5, it has to be specifically a 5. You get to play that card active, which is great. And then your leader gains 2,000 power, so your 5 will be to a 7, which is amazing for attacking that turn. And most likely you're going to be using this, so then you might end up attacking for 9,000, or it's going to be 7,000 on the opponent's turn as well, which is highly good for defense until the end of your opponent's next turn. So there you go. Boom, baby. Now for the Sabos, exact same things, except we're looking for Sabos. Nothing different here. All right, time for the last 2 Ks. Is there a Kozuki Hiyori's from OP06 220. On play, you get to grab 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. Then you add up to 1 card from your hand to the top. So if you don't know what that card is, you can grab it, and then you can set up one of your 5 costs in order to use the Sabos and the baby Luffys. This is just an amazing card. So this one and Charlotte Frampe are such good enablers for that. Now we have Kuzan. These are tech cards. We're running 2 of these in here. This, along with Ice Age, are the 2 cards that lower cost of the deck in order for you to do removal. It's also a pretty good 4 cost to just drop on the board. So this came out from OP02. 450 on play, draw a card. This is very good if you do it on curve, or if you throw it out with a Gecko Moria. When attacking, -4. So this is a big removal target for your opponent. Okay, now for the sort of big winners of the deck, here are your Luffys. This is from OP07. This is a treasure rare version. This is 561, activate main, trash this character. If you have 2 or less life, which is going to happen a lot, KO a 4 cost character and then draw 1. Remember, with Kuzan and or the Ice Age, you can KO an 8 cost with just one of the other cards, which is amazing. So this is here just in case you need to remove something. Also, I mean, obviously it's a 5, so you can summon it with baby Luffy. But if you really need to remove something on the opponent's board, like a Gecko Moria, you can always attack. If this thing is ready to attack, and then use the effect to get rid of it. The triggers are really good too. You can KO a 4 less. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next up, it's the other 5-drop Luffy from ST13 561. This one is also a 561, but the effect is main. This character gains 2,000 power until the start of your next turn, so this will be 8,000. Then, if you have 1 or more life cards, you have to draw 1. And draw 1 card, and then you trash 1 from the top. So once again, this is another card that gives you some stuff in your hand. This guy gets powerful, and you get to trash 1 from the top, which allows you to use more of the baby Luffy and Sabo if you get a chance. So there are 8 5 Luffys in the deck. Now for probably one of the best cards of the deck. This is Sabo from OP04. 561 has an A blocker on play, cannot be KO'd. Your characters cannot be KO'd by effects until the end of your next turn, and you get to draw 2 cards. Just simply amazing. Okay, now for the other 5 cost Sabos of the deck from ST13 561 on play, trash 1 card from the top or bottom of your life. You don't always have to do this. You don't remember it's colon, so it's an optional thing. But if you do, you KO a 5, and then with the Kuzan or the other one, oh sorry, cough. Air went to the wrong hole. You can KO a 9 or an 8 drop. It's really freaking, oh sorry, 10 or a 9 drop. It's so powerful. Okay, so there we go. So just like with the Luffy, we're running 8 5 drops and we're running 8 5 Sabos. Now for the final card of the deck, we're running 8 Gecko Morias. Gecko Moria is just so freaking good for this deck. So 06890 on play, choose up to 1 4 and 1 2 costs from your trash, play 1 active, play 1 resting. So one of your best sort of things to use with this is gonna be a 4 drop, so you can get a Kuzan active, and so to play a card, the next turn you can do some removal, and then you can get one of the babies, right? You can get Sabo or Luffy, or because they're both 2 drops, you can get both of them. They're pretty freaking nuts. Or if you have 1 life left, you can get like a Kozuki Hiyori to set up the life. If you have another one in your hand, then grab a Sabo if you set that up. You can get the Charlotte Flampe, so you can simply just grab the one from your life, because remember, this thing plays from the trash too, so there's just so many situations where you're gonna come out on top on this. You're gonna be able to absolutely mess with your deck. It's just so good, man. I'm very, very surprised they didn't limit Gecko Moria to be leader locked, or at least, you know, 2 or anything like that. But it's pretty amazing. So that's it for the deck. This is a really fun one. As mentioned at the very beginning of the episode, there's different ways to run this, and I decided to just focus on Luffy and Sabo, and we made it more consistent, the end game, with a little bit more removal. If you wanted to, you could remove the Kuzans, you could remove like 1 or 2 Sabo or Luffy's, and you can add in that Rush Ace, because the Rush is pretty powerful. The only bad thing about it is, once again, it just clutters your deck, and I just wanted to focus on just 2 of them here, just to make things a little bit more consistent. But yeah, there's different ways to run, and this one works for me. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. What would you add? What would you remove? Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.